Go get that celebrity news and information with Miss Chaney Ellis. Good morning, Chaney.
Good morning, Jerry. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. You know, I'm just jamming, listening to you on the way up here. You know, I go to work.
You don't know nothing about that,
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. She thought I didn't even know who Tom Joyner was.
I sure did. I said, I think about 10. How old are you anyway?
I'm about to be 23.
Oh, girl, you a senior citizen.
Yes.
Okay, well, let me show you some respect. Listen, Chaney, you came on this week. It was this week, right?
Yes.
And you just came in and snapped my picture because you are interning here at the station, correct?
Yes.
And you were doing a little social media type thing, scared the dog mess out of me, but bless your heart. But anyway, I asked you, I said, Chaney, do you know a little something? Can you tell us what's going on with some celebrity news? And you just were able to just go from the top of your dome and give us some powerful information. And from there, God said, put her on Thursdays. So we have celebrity news with Chaney because she was ready. She didn't have to get ready. She was already ready. So I need to know what you know that we need to know.
Okay, yes. Well, I was looking at something last night that I found, very interesting. We'll start, since your show is about inspiration. Okay. I'm going to bring you a little inspiration entertainment news. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, he is the owner and founder of Facebook, and he just recently had a daughter named Max, and now he is feeling, ever since the birth of his daughter, he's been feeling really gracious, and he has announced and wrote a letter that he is going to donate 99% of the Facebook shares to charity, which is $45 billion, which will probably leave with him and his family with about maybe like a 1.2 million or so. So, yes, this is what he said in the letter. Dear Max, your mother and I don't have the words to describe the hope you give us for the future. Your new life is full of promise, and we hope you will be happy and healthy so you can explore it fully. You've already given us a reason to reflect on the world we hope you live in. Like all parents, we want you to grow up in a better world than ours today. Now, he's 36 years old, and he goes on to explain that he wants his daughter to, live in a better world. He wants this $45 million to basically help equality and the promotion of human life. So he wants to help out with immigration. Some of his former contributions have he gave like $25 million to the Ebola study.
Wow.
He's given over $300 million to different schools. So, what do you think about this, Miss Jerry? You think that's a lot or too much? If you were his daughter and you were 18 and you found out a dad gave away, 99% of our wealth, would you be happy and proud of your family? Would you be thinking, I could have had an island with that? Well, this is very, this is powerful.
The old me was very selfish because I grew up pretty good, and I was very selfish, and so whatever it was mine. But when I came into Christ, I've changed, and I like to give. And I believe that when you give, it's a biblical principle. It shall be given back to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, shall men give unto your bosom. So I think that's a great concept to stay wealthy. Yes. That he's
Hold on. Dang, what is going on?
giving back because he recognizes that he's got so many blessings. Why not share it? But it's not really giving it away because it's going to come back to him. And so I believe that's a great thing. And I think he's starting his daughter off right by teaching her the principles of giving and reaping, sowing and reaping. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, so I wanted to just give a shout out to him for that and wanted to, better the world, and also want to give another shout out to Akon, who supplied over 600 million Africans with electricity. That story didn't get as much attention, but Akon, is an R&B singer, and the African population, 70% of it is under the age of 35. So that continent has the youngest population, and it's because they're not being able to live to see, 40, 45 years old. So supplying that electricity is supposed to save over 40% of the lives in Africa. So I also want to give, Special shout out to Akon. Now, on another more gossipy note, let's get out your inspiration. Gossipy note. Erykah Badu. Now, she was the host of the Soulful Awards, and she was making a joke about a female white rapper named Iggy Azalea, who was very popular in 2014 and 2015. And what this Soulful Awards basically wasn't including that many rappers and R&B, because it was supposed to be about just like soul. So she made a joke on stage, and she pretended like she was calling Iggy, and she was like, "Yeah, Iggy, you can come, because what you're doing is definitely not rap." And it went viral, it went everywhere. And Iggy woke up the next morning, and she was like, "Woke up to see that my work is still being discredited." And basically, what Erykah and other African American artists in the hip hop, R&B, and soul culture are saying is that white rappers are appropriating the culture. That they're not authentic. Now, what do you think about that? Do you think that they're kind of like entering our genre of music and taking over, or do you think they're just trying it out?
I really think
it should be that big of an issue, or
I don't think it should be that big of an issue, because I think when you do something and you do it well, that you're going to get people who want to emulate what you do. So that's just part of the process of doing what you do well. People are going to want to emulate what you do. So I think we should pat ourselves on the back and say, well, we must have been doing this well because somebody else wants to do what we do. That's what I think.
Yes, I agree with that as well. And I guess to bring more sides to their point, they're basically saying when a white rapper enters the industry, they get a lot of attention for being distinct, and they end up receiving awards and not having to put in the longevity of the craft. And I guess that'll be the only part that I would say they have a little point towards. But other than that, I think it's fine. I mean, we see a lot of artists, black artists, transitioning into pop culture, and we've seen some black country artists. So I don't think it should be.
And then sometimes we can make assumptions. We can assume that this person has not gone through adversity or had to put in some work. We really don't know what has happened behind the scenes, because I'm a firm believer, again, promotion either coming from the south, the east, or the west, but it comes from God. So when people get promoted, God is the one that made the choice to promote them, so he only knows what's going on behind the scenes or why they got that promotion. So that's me.
No, thank you. I'm asking you. I was looking, I'm like, what do you think? What do you think, Jerry P?
You see, I like that. Jerry P, that's right. But it's important.
Yes. Okay, there's some more news. Chris Brown, he's a young R&B singer. He's had some trouble with the law. He's been beating his girlfriend and such like that. Now, he had a whole...
Such like that, so that's kind of a such, that's a big such.
Yeah, that was a big such, He's turned his life around.
Okay.
He had a home invasion about, I would say 8 months ago, but he wasn't home, but his aunt was home. Now, if your nephew was a popular singer or something, and you were at his house just, watching over his house, and somebody comes and puts a gun to your head and robs you or whatever, but then your nephew does not want to say who he thinks was a part of the home invasion because he's not a snitch. What would you say to him? Because that's what's going on right now. He does not want to comply with the police about who he thinks might have broken into his house because, his words were, he ain't no snitch.
Well, one thing about it, I probably would say nothing because I wouldn't be speaking to him anymore because he seems like he's got some trouble following him. So I would be so far under the bed and scared and shook up that the home invasion happened while I was at the house. And who you running with and why they come breaking your house, that I'd have no words to say to him at all, I guess. That's my take.
Yeah, so we're gonna pray for Chris, and hopefully he starts complying with the police and making sure his family members are safe.
Yeah, there you go. Don't ask me to come to your house to watch nothing. There you go. What else we got?
Okay. Well, we had an artist come out and say, what's his name, Lil Boosie out of Louisiana. He basically said he was in jail for 4 years. And he got out of jail, and he said basically he's been watching TV, and it's been a lot of homosexuality on TV. He was like, he turned the channel to reality TV, and there's a new couple, and he watches Empire, which is a really hit show right now, and they're saying that's full of a lot of homosexuality. He says television is just taking a huge turn. Now, do you think that television is exposing too much of that type of lifestyle, or do you think this is just something that the world is just gradually getting into, and that it should be equal?
Well, and I go here because, again, I go by biblical truth, so... Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. Yes, I think we're doing too much, a little too much. Whether it's homosexual relationships or just relationships in general, I think television has taken it to a whole nother level. I remember a time that censors were very important, that even in the back in the days of I Love Lucy, way before you were married, they couldn't even lay in the bed together, and if they did, somebody's foot had to be out of the bed on the floor, so it did not appear to be sexual in any type of nature. So I think some things are going over the top. And I watch Empire. I will say that. I watch Empire. But I noticed that there's a lot of things being pushed now on Empire that back in the day it couldn't go, it couldn't fly. So yeah, it's a little much.
Yeah, I think it's a little
Now
much.
did I turn Empire off? I'm gonna tell you now. I didn't tell you. Pray for me.
Yeah, I think it's a little much just because of the kids that watch the older shows these days. It can be very persuasive. I think it can be very mind changing.
Yes.
I think that's why they should censor it. Not to say someone else's lifestyle is just like not as shouldn't be exploited as much as our others.
That's
but
it.
Hey, but I think that's what it is.
Nasty, just nasty. Nasty is just nasty. There you go. You said it. Well, thank you, Chaney. I'm telling you what, you did a wonderful job today. Let me give it up for Chaney for giving us this celebrity news. We can't tell it all, but I definitely want to talk to you again on next Thursday so we can continue this because you've got some great information, and I'm sure our listening audience has been blessed. Tell them how they can follow you, Chaney. Where can they follow you?
Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at the Chaney TV. And also, you can follow me on Facebook, Chaney Ellis. It's spelled Chaney, Chaney. And then also, just go to the KCOH social sites, which is KCOH Radio 1230 and also KCOH Radio 1230 on Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to watch KCOH TV on KCOHradio.com. And thank you so much, Jerry P., for this opportunity that you have blessed me with. Very kind of you.
Thank the Lord. You've done something right. I wouldn't have done it if he didn't say go ahead and do it. So you've done something right. So bless your little heart.
Thank you.
Hey, Chaney, what you know about this song right here?
Ooh, probably something.
What you know about that? You don't know about that?
Yes, I do.